Have you ever felt like the harder you chase something, the further it drifts away like trying to grasp water? The more force you apply, the faster it slips through your fingers. It is one of life's quiet paradoxes. The relentless pursuit of something often ensures its evasion picture, air and thrown into deep waters, desperate to stay afloat. He flails his arms, kicks wildly and gasps for air as panic grips his chest. But the more he fights, the faster he sinks. Then something remarkable happens. He stops resisting, lets go of fear, and suddenly he floats. This simple yet profound truth reveals a secret about life. Force creates resistance, and surrender leads to flow. The principle extends beyond water. It governs relationships, success, creativity, and even happiness. The more we try to control, the more elusive control becomes. Ancient wisdom, spanning from TSM to Zen, has long whispered of the dangers of excessive striving. It does not advocate for passivity, but rather an intuitive understanding of when to act and when to yield. In this video, we will uncover why forcing life only invites struggle and how surrendering to the natural current of existence allows life's gifts to arrive effortlessly kindly. Subscribe to our channel so that you catch up with the thoughts we share. Often, let's get started from an early age. We are conditioned to believe that control is the path to success. We meticulously plan, set rigid goals, and strive with unrelenting force to bend life to our will. Yet what if this very act of force is the barrier between us and the fulfillment we seek? Lao, the age of Taoism, captured this paradox in the Ta Ching. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? Imagine a glass of water filled with sediment. The more you stir, the cloudier it becomes, but if left undisturbed, clarity returns on its own. The same principle applies to our lives. The more we force, push, and demand, the more tangled and resistant circumstances become true. Mastery over life does not come through brute force, but through an understanding that clarity, solutions, and outcomes emerge naturally when we stop overexerting ourselves. The river does not rush to reach the ocean. It follows the landscape, adapting, and in doing so, it carves the land itself. Taste philosophy offers a beautiful principle known as Wu, which translates le to effortless action. It does not mean inaction, but rather aligning oneself so seamlessly with life's rhythm that effort becomes unnecessary. It is the difference between a dancer forcing movements and one who becomes the dance itself. Consider the river once more. It does not crash violently against rocks to remove them. It flows around them, shaping them over time. The wind does not struggle to move the leaves. It simply moves and the leaves follow. Likewise, the greatest masters in any field are not those who fight force with force, but those who harmonize with life's natural flow. The seasoned martial artist redirects energy rather than opposing it. The musician lost in the melody does not force notes. She allows them to emerge naturally. The poet does not seize inspiration by force. He surrenders to it and words find their way onto the page. When we move in sync with the rhythm of existence, we discover that true power lies not in struggle, but in surrender, the paradox of trying too hard. The harder we chase something, the more it eludes us. The mind, when strained, contracts rather than expands. This phenomenon is known in psychology as the paradox of trying. The more we exert effort, the less natural the outcome becomes. Trying too hard to sleep, you stay awake, obsessing over happiness. It remains out of reach. Alan Watts, the renowned philosopher, expressed this idea succinctly. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be experienced. The more desperately we grasp at the waves, the more they scatter beyond our reach. It is only in the moment we release our white-knuckle grip that life begins to unfold in ways we never anticipated. In the mountains of the East, there was a young archer named Renji, known for his unmatched precision. He could strike a leaf from a tree at 100 paces and split an arrow in half mid-flight. But despite his skill, there was one feat he could never accomplish: hitting the heart of the floating lantern. Every year during the Festival of Lights, the monks would release a single golden lantern onto the wind. Any archer who could pierce its heart would be honored as a master of his craft year after year. Renji tried, yet his arrows always missed by a hair's breadth. One evening, as the festival approached, Renji sought the wisdom of an old master who lived deep in the forest. The master watched as Renji demonstrated his skill firing arrows with unwavering focus. Yet when he attempted to strike a leaf drifting in the breeze, his arrows always fell short. The master chuckled and said, "You, shoot with your arms, not with your spirit. You fight the wind instead of moving with it." Renji frowned. He had trained for years perfecting his aim. How could he not rely on his own strength on the night of the festival? The golden lantern floated into the sky, swaying gently in the wind. Renji drew his bow, his muscles tense. He watched the lanterns dance and fired. His arrow barely grazed its side. Frustrated, he shot again and again. But the more he tried to predict its movement, the more his arrows strayed. Then he remembered the old master's words. Rennie took a deep breath and let go of control. He watched the wind, felt its rhythm, and when his spirit was still, he loosed his final arrow, not aiming, not for forcing. The arrow sailed effortlessly, carried by the wind itself, and pierced the heart of the lantern. The crowd gasped, the monks nodded in approval, and Renji at last understood the more. You struggle against the natural flow, the more you fail. But when you surrender to it, success finds you. Letting go is not defeat. It is the wisdom of choosing battles worth fighting and surrendering to those best left in 5 hands. Imagine two climbers scaling a steep hill. One rushes forward, exhausting themselves, stumbling from sheer force of will. The other moves with patience, adapting to the terrain and reaching the peak with grace. Which one embodies true strength? This wisdom applies everywhere. A musician playing from joy performs with more depth than one enslaved by perfection. A student studying from curiosity retains more than one cramming from fear. A person at peace in social settings attracts more genuine connections than one desperately seeking validation. Control is an illusion. And the more we release our desperate grasp, the more life gives us what we were searching for all along. Embracing the toe in daily life. How can we integrate this wisdom into our everyday existence? Stop forcing outcomes, understand that the universe operates on its own timing, flow with challenges, struggle is resistance, adaptation is mastery. Practice mindfulness, engage fully in the present, rather than obsessing over uncertain tomorrows. Let go of attachment, do your best, but do not become enslaved by expectations. Trust in the natural order, just as the seasons change without struggle. So too will life's circumstances. Life is not meant to be a ceaseless struggle, an exhausting battle of wills against an indifferent cosmos. The greatest achievements, the deepest joys, and the most profound peace are not born from force, but from flow. There is an innate intelligence in existence, a rhythm to which all things move, and when we stop resisting, we find ourselves effortlessly carried toward what is meant for us. So the next time you find yourself caught in struggle, ask yourself, am I trying too hard? Perhaps the key is not in doing more, but in doing less. Perhaps the answer is not in exertion, but in ease. Relax. Flow and watch life unfold before you in all its effortless beauty. This is the Motivation Parade. Like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you for watching.